Yeah, I don't even know what to. I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say. It's funny. I got done watching this film, and then I read these. I read these. Funny enough, this is actually one of my favorite little stories. Is a two-part where he fights Fire Lord. I don't know why. For some reason, this little story, two-parter, I was always fond of. Let me start with a couple things. Bear with me. Number one, if you disagree, that's fine. You're in the majority. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to change anyone's opinion. If you like a film, that's cool. If you hate a film, that's cool. If I don't really recommend films because you may like it and I liked it. You may hate it and I liked it. You may hate it and I hate it. You may hate it. You every film has a fan and a non-fan. A lot of people like the film. I'm not here to take it away from them. Okay, Jose Ballard, he mentioned, like, he said, really, really loved it. Had a great fun theater experience. Beautiful film, by far. Favorite live-action Spider-Man film. Love seeing all interacting with each other. Was left speechless. It was great. Ending was so good. Love the stuff at the end. Swinging reminds me of Tobey Maguire swinging. We finally get Spidey punching. I just loved it. You know, Jose Ballard. There's a lot of people that love it. They call it a masterpiece. That's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This was a paid request. For those who want to send in a paid request, feel free to send for a review, topic, reaction, re-review, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever it may be, commentary, that's fine. If you want to, you can feel free to send either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. Also, I'll say this, I apologize for this video and all the other videos in the future if times the videos freeze, at times a sentence or a word or two is skipped. I try to do the best I can with this webcam and computer. Seems like nothing I do works. I apologize. Seems like there's nothing I can do. Maybe it makes sense because I'm a low budget, no budget. Many people on YouTube are like filmmakers. I'm the guy 3 steps away from making a porno. I don't know. That type of thing. I wish. Spider-Man No Way From Home. Is it one of the worst years? No, it's been a shitty year for movies. Would it be in the top 10? No, not at all. Does it have good moments? Yeah, there's a couple moments I enjoyed. Tom Holland, I liked his performance as Spider-Man Peter Parker. I think Tom Holland does a good job in this. A couple other people show up. There's some nice moments with them. There's nice moments with Alfred Molina. There was nice moments with Willem Dafoe. There are nice moments. But I can't say I enjoyed this film. I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie. I know, I hate everything. I know I enjoyed the new Suicide Squad that came out this year. I know I enjoyed Malignant. I enjoyed this film that came out this year. I enjoyed Willy's Wonderland. Nick Cage. I enjoyed Nobody. There's other films I enjoyed this year. I enjoyed Blade Runner 2049. I would say I like the other two Spider-Man films, Homecoming and Far From Home, more than this. I would say that. I like those more than this. I really would. The first Iron Man. The two Guardians of the Galaxy films. The first Doctor Strange. I mean, I liked those more than this. I did. There's plenty of other films, popular or unpopular, I like more than it. It's not 2 hours and 40 some minutes. It's really 2.5 hours. If you take out the end credits and the post-credits scene, it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't care for the story. I don't care for what they do with the plot. I really don't care what they do with the villains for the most part. And a lot of people enjoy it. That's cool. I just don't see a masterpiece. I'm sorry. I hear countless people saying this is a masterpiece. I don't agree one bit. And I don't have to agree. And you don't have to agree with me. And guess what? The world keeps on turning. Nothing wrong with that. And it's going to start with spoilers from right now. Because I have to. Spoilers starting right now. Been warned. I don't like the way Doctor Strange is used. I think he comes off as a fucking moron, a fucking idiot, a fucking chode, a fucking dipshit, and a fucking dipstick. He knows this is a dangerous spell that he literally says to brainwash pretty much the earth. That's his words, by the way, his words. And what's the motive for this? Because Spider-Man's friends can't get into college. MIT. I'm thinking, well, what's the big hindrance of your identity being revealed? At the end of Far From Home, his identity was revealed, and he was framed for murder. What's going to come out of this? Within 10 minutes, he's cleared of the crimes. 10 minutes. How? Matt Murdock, Daredevil, has a cameo as a lawyer. And he says the charges won't stick. Why they won't stick? I don't fucking know, because the movie doesn't fucking say. It's just because it's Matt Murdock. Because he was on that Daredevil show. That's why. Because it's Matt Murdock, the charges won't stick. You mean the charges that he was framed, murder? They won't stick. Why won't they stick? They don't say it. Not explained. So the big deal of him being framed for murder is like not even that big of a deal. And most of it's treated as a joke. Even when he's talking with cops, it's treated like a joke. Just Ned, his buddy, his butt boy, is in jail, interrogation. That's treated as a joke. MJ, Michelle, I keep thinking she's called MJ, but it's Michelle. She's never scared. There's no threat. There's no harm. The most harm is one brick goes through Aunt May's window. One brick, which Matt Murdock catches. Then they move into Jon Favreau, Happy's place. Aunt May seems happy. Aunt May seems fine. Aunt May seems like this is no big deal or issue. Doesn't seem like there's any issues with Aunt May. And you think with the threat of secret identity being out there, what's the threat that's going to go to a wizard to say, I want to change the memory of every person on the planet? That means you also gotta change the computers, you gotta change cameras, you gotta change the internet. You know how fucking impossible it is that even magic can't make shit disappear from the internet, let alone, this is a lot of shit. You figure danger is the reason. Some villain is going to try to kill them. Someone is, even some thugs. Oh, you're Spider-Man's aunt? Is that true? Well, he ain't around. Huh? Where's he at? Is he going to save you now? Is he going to save you now? And like pushing Aunt May, and they beat her up, they put her in the hospital, and then Peter Parker finds her, and she sweet talks him, but then he overhears Jon Favreau talking to someone who knows this may happen again. What if this happens again? And then made that the crutch as to why he needs to go change things. Made that the reason. People are trying to rough up Mary Jane. That doesn't happen. It's because this whole montage of, am I going to get into college? Oh, we didn't get into MIT. Boo fucking who? Go work at McDonald's. Go work at Walmart. Like, that's the big deal? Boo fucking who? We don't get into college? This was based on a comic called One More Day, where Spider-Man and Mephisto says, you know what, I will cure Aunt May's sickness. Aunt May won't die, but I want the whole marriage you have with Mary Jane. I think it was called One More Day. I almost said One Fine Day, but that's that fucking George Clooney movie back in the day. That's a comment that not a lot of people even liked. Or they take inspiration from that. And that, at least, Aunt May was dying, and that's why he took that big leap. This is because you can't get into MIT. Go to community college. Let me tell you something. There are colleges that teach fucking murderers because they could throw a football or play basketball. Or rapists because they could dunk a basketball well. They will take you, Spider-Man, just for the fame, for the money, for the hoopla. By the way, I know they're off doing their own shit, but at the end of the day, you're still in a universe where the Avengers were a thing. The fact that he goes to Doctor Strange, but like nobody else can help him. I mean, I know Tony Stark's industry got stopped, which they kind of, but they don't really go into a lot of detail. Just pretty much his suit can't work as well as it could before. And Jon Favreau, I guess, kind of gets fired. Not even kind of, I guess. So I know people go, well, it's affecting his friends. I'm sorry. When you see what happens afterward, when you see what happens throughout it, spoilers, that Aunt May dies, the chaos and destruction on the bridge, all the people that almost died because of Doc Ock, all the destruction around, like, this area, the Statue of Liberty, all that. All this because you couldn't get into your fucking college wet dream. That, to me, that's just so far off the reservation for a reason. Again, I don't understand why you use the reason that a family member is in danger physically. Or like people out of the woodwork are trying to hurt, murder, kill your friends. And thus you get more of the desperation. Like, can you imagine how much more powerful that would be? Just bear with me. I know this is going on for like 13 minutes already, but bear with me. This is how it initiates. Imagine a scenario where you can't even have a new villain. Hell, they only have technically 5 villains. You want a Sinister Six? Have a, I don't know, a Scorpion. Have some other fucking villain, if that's the case. Which, remember how so many people said this would be a Sinister Six? No, there's only 5, and they're not even sinister. It's more like the Sympathetic Six. It was the Sinister Six, not Sympathetic Six. It ain't even 6. The Sinister Six to the Sympathetic 5. And that's another thing, like, all these times, I'll get to that. But imagine a villain or other villains that worked for any of these other bad guys. They want to kill or destroy or hurt Aunt May and Michelle, MJ, and Ned. And he's like, man, I'm trying to stop this, but I need to, they will die. Like, I'm tired of them, their lives being in danger because of me. No, their lives aren't in danger. Michelle's just going to be sad being a fucking waitress. I don't get to get an MIT. Boo fucking who? I don't give a shit. They haven't really built Michelle well that well. I mean, I haven't given a shit about Michelle. It's funny, before this film, half the people would say, I don't give a shit about MJ, Michelle. Now, after one film, I'm supposed to give a shit? No. Ned? Never give a fuck about annoying, fucking annoying, unfunny friend. I know I said annoying twice, but he deserved it. Never cared about his wannabe. Can't even finish the sentence. I don't even know, man. Just the way this initiates, the way this gets into it, I'm like, that is the most lame, ho-hum. Even Doctor Strange gets pissed about it. Because here's the thing. He got denied. Spider-Man, he never gave a call back. After the spell fucks up, and Doctor Strange's like, you didn't think to call them before asking me to brainwash the entire world? He literally says that, Doctor Strange. So this Spider-Man, people go, well, he makes mistakes, Matt. He makes mistakes. People make mistakes. You make mistakes. Number one, I don't make mistakes that causes death and destruction and might be the end of the universe. But this Spider-Man is 6 movies in now. This is not like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the... before they became Spider-Man. And they're not even Spider-Man yet. Mistake happens, they learn from it. This is the 6th movie this Spider-Man's in. Captain America Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, Homecoming, Far From Home, and now this one. You're telling me 6 movies in, and this Spider-Man is still this fucking stupid. It is still this fucking naive. 6 movies in now. He's so fucking stupid that when Doctor Strange is telling him, stop changing the spell, and he won't shut up. Yeah, can you stop changing the spell, Parker? Yeah, you need to do this, you need to do this. Will you shut the fuck up, Parker? Can you do this? Can you do this? How many fuck-ups does he need? Is there a limit? He just is like one fuck-up after another. This is the Spider-Man, the fuck-up version. The other Spider-Mans and the other movies never fucked up as much as this Spider-Man did in this one movie alone. And it's like, well, it was supposed to lead up to Aunt May's death, but the mistake they're pointing out for him is that the mistake of him trying to cure the villains, not the other shit that you also fucked up, like fucking up the spell and wanting to do this for fucking MIT. He never comes to the realization that that was stupid. Just, oh, well, curing these villains are stupid. And the others go, oh, no, it's not. It's what we do. I'm like, it is? Great, I know Spider-Man's not a killer. He's never been a killer. I get that, but this is like Spider-Man, a hippie. It's like a fucking bleeding heart hippie Spider-Man. But don't... Yes, I know Spider-Man's a guy that doesn't want to kill. He's not a guy who's a murderer. Far from it. I get that. I've read Spider-Man comics. I've watched the cartoons. But at times, it's not treating itself as seriously as it should. At the beginning of the film, when he finds out that he has been framed for murder, and people know he's Spider-Man, one of the things that happens at the very beginning is going to Ned. Dude. Where's your car? I don't fucking know what you're doing. Why is this being treated like a joke still at the beginning of this film? We should be in dire consequences now. It's treated as a fucking joke. And then they're pretty much fine. People are taking pictures. So they're like the equivalent of a movie star, like a Brad Pitt or George Clooney, and paparazzi, you follow them. People are smiling. The high school, makes a fucking shrine to him. Pictures and stuff in a cabinet. Wow, he's going through such bad times. I don't know, Aunt May seems happy. The others are just sad they don't get an MIT, but... Believe me, there's a lot of good jobs in the market with our college. Trust me. And then it's 20 minutes of that before he goes see Doctor Strange. And he's talking about, well, what's happening? It's really hurting a lot of people. What do you mean hurting them? How is Aunt May hurt? One brick went through a window from a guy who can't fucking spell straight. That's like me wanting to... Okay, this is like me going, you know what? I'm going to go to Doctor Strange. I'm going to have everybody watching this, you don't lose your memory of me. Because some troll is out there telling people fuck, and they spell it F-U-K. Fuck you. And they spell it F-U-K-Y-U. And, I don't know, how does that, like, that's the serious reason as to why, is because Ted getting to MIT. And people are like, hey, let's take pictures, let's take selfies, Spider-Man, oh, cool. Again, and the murder thing is, like, gone just like that. There's no tension. There's no stakes. What big stakes are involved for him to do this, other than, well, they'll get into college. And then Doctor Strange is another idiot. I liked the first Doctor Strange movie. I liked the character. Remember so many people were telling me, oh, it's Mysterio. That's why it's Mysterio. No, it ain't no fucking Mysterio being Doctor Strange. I remember so many people telling me, it's going to be Mysterio, you know that? It's going to be Mysterio. Mysterio's being Doctor Strange. No, he fucking ain't. It's Doctor Strange. The one guy even tells him it'll be dangerous. He's like, come on, man. He's just a kid. Now, let me ask you a question. Why doesn't Doctor Strange sit down and actually talk and say, hey, Peter, I have this spell I'm going to do. I'm going to have it where everyone forgets about you. How do you feel about that? You got any questions? Ask them now. Forget for everybody. Everybody, including them. Okay, you don't want your aunt to forget? Okay, what? Michelle? Okay, you don't want Ned? Okay, Happy? Okay. Who else? Okay, do the spell. There you go. But Doctor Strange, who is supposed to be the sorceress... Well, he is a bitch in this. I'll get to that. Doctor Strange is made into an idiot bitch. Why the fuck am I going to look forward to Doctor Strange 2 when he acted like a fucking moron? He acted like a fucking tool. He could not stop. Just stop in the middle of the spell. This guy's talking. Or again, talk to him before the fucking bit. Wouldn't that be a serious conversation to have? 5 minutes. 5 minutes it would have taken to take care of that shit. 5 fucking minutes. Not 5 years, not 5 weeks, not 5 boners, not 5 fucking anal evacuations. 5 fucking minutes. Doesn't happen. Why? The Doctor Strange was made to a fucking moron. And I like the Doctor Strange character. I'm sorry, you don't have to shit on one character to make one character better. What? Where have I heard that before? Shit on one character to make another character better. Wait, I swear I've heard that before with other recent franchises. But I'm sure people, who gives a shit about Doctor Strange? I care about Doctor Strange. You would think they would care because their next fucking movie is a Doctor Strange movie. Why would you care to see it? He's wow. I'm going to watch another movie with this guy who's a fucking idiot, who fucked up. Him and Spider-Man are the reason all this shit's going on. The reason that the universe almost went to dog shit. People got hurt. Aunt May died. It's just as much Doctor Strange's fault. He's a fucking moron too. And Peter Parker, Peter Fuckwit, won't shut the fuck up. Oh, did you do this? Did you do this? I mean, how many times? This guy is, again, Spider-Man. 6 goddamn movies. He was Spider-Man before Civil War. Robert Downey Jr. got him. During Civil War, after Civil War, with Homecoming, then Infinity War. Between Homecoming and Infinity War, they Endgame at the end. This is a guy that faced off in a battle with Thanos. And he still hasn't learned much of shit for common sense. And he's supposed to just excuse it? No! This ain't his first or his second or his third rodeo. His sixth fucking film. So then Doctor Strange fucks it up. And then Doctor Strange's like, well, what did they say when you called them back? Who? The guys at MIT. I didn't know you could do that. Peter Parker is a grown-ass guy. All this shit that's gone through, he doesn't know that you just call back to MIT and go, are you sure? I mean, what's the deal? You could call back for a fucking phone bill that went wrong. Why is this? Peter's such a fucking moron. Why are people saying this is... Well, people make mistakes, and yeah, I understand making a mistake. I understand making two mistakes, but if you've been Spider-Man for... How many years has it been since Civil War? Can someone tell me, excluding the gap where he disappeared because of the snap in Endgame, excluding those years, from Civil War, a little bit before that, to here, how many years has he been Spider-Man? I would love to know the math on that. Please tell me. Please do. So he goes to see the MIT lady, because again, the big flux of this fucking story so far is MIT. Not, I've been framed for murder. Not, oh my god, these people are attacking Aunt May and she's in the hospital. I hope she's okay. I don't want her to die. Which, to be honest, that would be more of the irony of tragedy. That he did this because he didn't want Aunt May to die, but Aunt May died anyway. And that's the... He meant well, it's not his fault. It was like this weird fate thing that no matter what, she was going to die anyway for fate to teach him this lesson. But he doesn't want to. He wants to fight that, of course, like any Spider-Man would. But that would make more sense in a story base. That would be more satisfying on an emotional level. Not because of... that's a sticking point, because it's the first fucking 20, 30 minutes of the movie. So you get to the bridge, and there's Doc Ock. Alfred Molina, I like Alfred Molina. I like him in Spider-Man 2. He does a good job here. Yes, it's like, oh wow, I remember him. There's that nostalgia portion. But I like Alfred Molina. He does a good job. He does what he can with the material. He has a fight on the bridge. I still don't like the Iron Spider suit. And I know someone said, well, that was in the comics. You know what? A shitload of things were in the comics of Spider-Man. Spider-Man had androids for parents. His parents came back, you find out they were androids. Spider-Man grew 6 arms. Which was also in the 90s cartoon. Just because it's a comics don't mean anything. Superman had a fucking boxing fight with Muhammad Ali. That doesn't mean I want to see that in the movie. You know what? There was the Clone Saga Ben Reilly. It doesn't mean I want to see that for a fucking movie. Maybe some people do. Difference of opinion and personal preference. I never cared about the Iron Spider. And really, Peter Parker didn't even win the fight against Doc Ock. Tony Stark did, if you really think about it. Because Spider-Man doesn't beat Doc Ock. The suit does. Tis the nanomachines that Stony Stark. Or in normal people speak, Tony Stark. But I like Stony Stark more. But Tony Stark's, his nanotech beat it. Because Spider-Man's avoiding stuff on the bridge, and he's trying the best he can. And he does save the MIT girl. But then Doc Ock grabs him, and the nanomachines into Doc Ock's arm. So really, it was the suit that beat him, not Spider-Man. So it's not Tom Holland Spider-Man beating Doc Ock. It was Tony Stark's nano suit. So beyond the grave, Iron Man is beating villains more than Spider-Man is. And that's the thing, like, well, it's Spider-Man because his suit. But yeah, he didn't do anything. Literally, it was the tech because the birthday present Tony Stark gave him. Which then controls Doc Ock's arms. So now Spider-Man can control the arms. Then Green Goblin arrives, but then Doctor Strange goes zip, and they are, or at least at this point, Doc Ock is imprisoned. And he gets with Michelle, he gets with Ned, and this is when Doctor Strange says, it's pulling everyone who knows Peter Parker Spider-Man, which doesn't make sense because they say anyone who comes, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, they know who Peter Parker is. They knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. When the fuck did Electro know that? Electro never knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. In fact, when he sees Andrew Garfield's face at the end, he's like, wow. I thought you were from Queens. I thought you were black. Man, there's gotta be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere. Why? I mean, there is Miles Morales. But why should it matter to... That was just a weird line. There's gotta be a black Spider-Man. What if I said, well, there's gotta be a white Electro? Imagine if I told that to Jamie Foxx. Oh man, there's gotta be a white Electro somewhere. Is there an Italian? The Italian Stallion? Electroitis? Come on, there's gotta be an Asian Doc Ock. They love the octopuses. Hentai. Imagine if I said that, it would come off as fucking weird. But that's what it said in this masterpiece. If you think it's masterpiece, good. Glad. Buy it on Blu-ray, 4K, 8K, 20K. I'm glad. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give an honest opinion to someone sent in a paid request who wanted to hear my honest opinion. You know what I think did this better? Into the Spider-Verse. People say I don't like anything. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I think, is a much better movie than this. I think it was a tighter paced movie. I think it was a better story. I think it was better action. I think it was a better character work. And it was like, oh, there's this new Spider-Man stuff we haven't seen before in this venue. Miles Morales and all this other stuff. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, number one, that's why they made this movie. Because that movie made a shit ton of money. So then, oh, let's do that for this. That's number one. Number two, it's a shorter movie by like half an hour. I don't know if, well, maybe not that long. It is well, maybe not by that long, but it felt like it would have a faster pace. And then, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse to me is the best Spider-Man film that's been made. I stand by that. And that is much better than this. I stand by that too. I also stand by that. I think for the most part, Spider-Man works better in cartoons. Spectacular Spider-Man, 90s Spider-Man, even the one season MTV Spider-Man, just live action, the way Spider-Man moves, it's just more fluid in animation style compared to live action. Maybe live action is just not the right format for Spider-Man. That's one of the conclusions I kind of come to as I watch this. But this is when Doctor Strange says, please Scooby-Doo this shit. Please Scooby-Doo this shit? You got Doctor Strange saying, please Scooby-Doo this shit, and it's a masterpiece? To each their own, man. Scooby-Doo this shit. What is it, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo and Doctor Strange is fucking Vincent Price's character? Vincent Van Gogh, whatever? So pretty much he's got to go get these other villains. By this point, Lizard was already caught by Doctor Strange. Doc Ock's been caught by Doctor Strange. By the way, Doc Ock is no longer a villain. He will never be a villain anywhere again in this movie. And that was... I'll get to that. Because of the 5 villains, Lizard and Doc Ock are caught. The other 2 is Electro and Sandman. Tom Holland tries to fight Electro. Sandman is there, and Sandman helps him. Sandman isn't even a villain. Which makes sense in the fact that in Spider-Man 3, he's the one who killed Uncle Ben. He said his words to Peter Parker. I'm guessing that's when they were ripped. I'm guessing. And he even says, hey, Peter, like, Spider-Man, it's me. What's going on here? And Sandman helps him fight Electro and catch Electro. Sandman and Tom Holland have a high five. The reason I'm almost yelling about that is because literally, for like no fucking reason, he's a villain. Electro disappears, and then Sandman's like, what do you do? Did you kill him? Huh? Did you kill him? No, I don't trust anybody now. Nope, I don't trust anybody now. And then when he gets zapped, he realizes they're not dead. And they literally tell him, we want to cure you. We want to cure you. So you can go home. Why is Sandman a villain now? Number one, Sandman would want nothing else but to be cured. What was one of the things in Spider-Man 3 that was actually worth the shit? Sandman, Thomas Hayden Church. Which, by the way, he's all sand. The only time he's human is reused footage from Spider-Man 3. I shit you not. At the end of the film, when he's cured and you actually see Thomas Hayden Church, because the rest of it, you just hear his voice, or he's made of sand. You see the little bit of him, it's footage from Spider-Man 3. I shit you not. For a movie that cost this much, wow, that was fucking lazy. But, do people not remember in Spider-Man 3, which I hate Spider-Man 3, but I did like Sandman in it. I did like Sandman. That was one of the only redeeming factors in that piece of shit. One of the best moments is when he got the thing and it goes through his hand and he can't hold it. And his daughter. He wants to be this because he wants to be with his daughter and not deal with this shit. That's what he wants more than anything. And he didn't die. He never died. So when they say, well, you'll go back to the moment you died, he never died. And someone goes, well, he doesn't know that. That never comes into play in dialogue, in execution, and nothing. He's just, I'm a villain. I helped Spider-Man. I even gave him a high five. And, oh, he's talking about curing me. He even sees, later on, Tom Holland cure Doc Ock. He sees him cure Doc Ock. He sees it. And Doc Ock is from his fucking world. He sees Doc Ock cured. And yet he's like, yeah, I'll be a villain. Why? The whole point of Spider-Man 3 at the end is that he feels so bad for killing Uncle Ben. And he didn't mean to do it. That was the whole fucking point. This is what I'm talking about. Like, some of this shit, you look at each of these villains, you go, what the fuck is going on? That makes no fucking sense. I remember all this talk, people going, it's the Sinister Six. We're finally getting the Sinister Six. Bullshit my dick hole. What Sinister Six? If there was a six, it'd be the Sympathetic Six. Because, we all feel bad for each one of them. There's no real villains. There's no crying in baseball. That's one of my issues with Spider-Man movies, that every goddamn one of them has to have a villain that you feel bad for. That could work sometimes, yes, but not every fucking one. Why do you think they were called the Sinister fucking Six? I don't know why I have it. Oh, I have an X-Men one because the sequel was this one. That's why I felt watching some of this bullshit. So much for your Sinister Six. If you think you're ever going to get Sinister Six, keep dreaming. But all this stuff that people were telling beforehand, it's going to be... No, I had zero expectations on this. That's my point. I had zero expectations. Because I'm not big on Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm not big on Far From Home. I think they're better than this, but I'm not big on those two films. I'm conflicted, they're okay, but very flawed in my opinion. They are. You know what movies I prefer? The Captain America movies. They're not perfect, but I find them much more enjoyable and a lot less aggravating. I prefer Captain America 1, 2, and 3. I do. I prefer that trilogy more than the Spider-Man trilogy. Which is ironic because Spider-Man is the comics... It's what got me into comic books in the first place. This is what got me into comic books in the first place. You know, I didn't even plan on that. I just realized... Maybe that'll be the thumbnail. I'll probably forget. So, there is no Sinister Six. There's only 5 villains. Doc Ock is only a villain on that bridge. The rest of it, it's talking amongst other villains, dialogue exchanges, them laughing at his name. My name is Dr. Otto Octavius. No, really, what's your real name? You know, they were bad guys at one point. Again, why do you think they were called the Sinister Six in the fucking first place? It wasn't just for the shits and the giggles. But I mean... Of the 5, Sandman isn't really a villain. And then he's not a villain at the beginning of his stint in the movie. And then oh yeah, I forgot. The strip says I'm a villain, so now I am. Why? The strip told me so. Lizard, again, Electro, and, Osborn. There's no Rhino, no Scorpion, nothing of that. There's no other Green Goblin, from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. No Venom does not show up. Some people are, maybe Venom. No. Technically, the post-credits. So again, if you take out that bridge scene, technically there's only 4 villains in this movie. Again, one of them, Sandman, wasn't a villain, and it's like, oh shit, we gotta make him a villain. So it's almost like you say, there's really like 3 villains, but whatever. Willem Dafoe is trying. He comes in saying, sometimes I'm not myself. Every time he's in control, I can't remember. Willem Dafoe is trying. Alfred Molina is trying. I'm not even the biggest to be or not to be Maguire Spider-Man fan. But even when he pops up, they're trying, man. They're trying. They're trying. Doctor Strange ready to send them back, and Tom Holland stops him and goes, wait. I want to cure them so they don't die. And there's that part of my brain that goes, oh, we got a hippie Spider-Man, bleeding heart. The other side of me is like, yeah, I get it. It's his innocence, and Spider-Man was a guy that wanted to see the best in people and was not the Punisher. Quite the opposite. Almost a Superman bit of ideology. Like Superman would do, if you base it truly on the comics, despite exceptions, of course. I get that. I do get that, but at the same time, it's like the fact that they're able to cure all of them, all 5 of them, and I'm like, maybe because to skip ahead, Doctor Strange says when they get sent back, it'll be to the point where they almost die. And when they get sent back, you never find out what happened to them. Did they die? Did they not die? Did they make a bigger, better life? We never know what happened after they're sent back. They could have been sent back and 2 seconds later, zzz. Like, Willem Dafoe could be sent back. He looks up and he gets impaled. Doc Ock could be sent back and then it's in the middle of a fight. Spider-Man does a kick or a punch or whatever, and then... I mean, Lizard never died, so he would be cured. He got cured already, so he just cured again. That's the thing, he got cured before, he just gets cured again. Electro... Does that mean Electro, when he goes back, would he be able to save Mary Jane, maybe? Gwen Stacy? Geez, think about it, when Electro goes back, what if he's able to convince Andrew Garfield, wait a minute, I've changed. And then that other Green Goblin comes in, would Jamie Foxx be able to defeat that Green Goblin? Would he be able to save Gwen Stacy? All this stuff I'm asking is never mentioned, never thought of, you're not supposed to think about it. You would think, okay, it'd be some kind of montage of this is what happened to each of these guys. Maybe Doc Ock went back to being a teacher. Again, Willem Dafoe. Did he live? If he did, that means James Franco, that Osborn, his life would be changed. He wouldn't be a goblin. Like, the timeline would be altered. Then, of course, that goes to splintering timelines, and that's never brought up. Never. So, again, there's no payoff to it. You cure them, but there's no fucking payoff. You don't know what happens to them. You never see into Tobey Maguire's world. You never see into Andrew Garfield's world. Why? Because we have to have scenes where Doctor Strange says Scooby-Doo this shit. Because we have a montage of, oh, you got a letter from college. Did you get accepted? You got another letter from college. Did that accept you? We did a montage of that. We have a Matt Murdock cameo. Granted, to get him free from being on a murder that Blinken, that was no longer a factor. I could probably deal with that, cure them, if you saw an actual payoff of that. And you don't. When they go back, did they live? Did they die? If they died, then it didn't matter if they were cured. If they die when they go back, it wouldn't matter if they're fucking cured. You get a second chance. Do they? Is it 5 minutes? Is it 50 minutes? No one knows. The filmmakers probably don't know, and they're like, you're not supposed to care. Really? This is your basis of your plot. Basis of your story. So then Doctor Strange says, I'm going to send them back. Tom Holland's like, no, they'll die if you do. I want to try to cure them. And then Doctor Strange and Spider-Man have a fight. And it leads to the mirror universe. And Spider-Man somehow is better than Doctor Strange in the Magic Universe. Now, as a Spider-Man fan, there's a part of me that's like, wow, cool. But then I'm like, once again, it makes Doctor Strange a bitch. Hence, he might be called the Sorceress. Kingdom of the Bitches. Teen of the Seaman Seas. Teen of the Johnsons. A dick in the mouth and a dick in the corner. Doctor Strange, Dr. Cocksucker, Dr. Strangefellow, Dr. Bedfellow, Dr. Feelgood. Not only was he a fuck-up in the spell, but he lost his fight with Spider-Man. And then again, I'm like, why the fuck do I want to see Doctor Strange 2 with a character that lost to Spider-Man in his own goddamn magic world? Even when he does and gets the body out, Spider-Man's able to just swim back into his body. And Doctor Strange's like, how can you do this? It's a good question. It's never answered. Because he's Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man beating the odds. That's why I like this fucking comic. That's why I like this comic is that... Let me show you a panel. This one here. You may be bigger and far more powerful, but that's just not good enough, mister. You'll never stop. Okay, let me start so I can read that properly. You may be bigger and far more powerful, but that's just not good enough, mister. You'll never stop me. And no matter how strong you are, I'm just too stubborn to know when to quit. I'll keep on coming back. Keep fighting until I find a way to win. To beat you. I won't give up, you hear me? I won't. You don't have to give up, son. You've already won, and Captain America has to... See, that's the bit here. Because this is like a powerful being, and it's like, oh, there's no way Spider-Man can win. And then Captain America's like, hey, you did it, man. You did it. And that's because in these two issues, he went through hell and high water. Gas station blowing up, and jump out of a building, the whole fucking building, empty building goes down. Or like the story when he dealt with the Juggernaut. I like that. But at the same time... When you're trying to have a character like Doctor Strange that you're building up for fucking sequels, and I'm like, dude, even Spider-Man beat your ass in the fucking Magic Universe. It just made Doctor Strange into a fucking joke, in my opinion. Just a fucking joke. Just a fucking joke. He could beat Doctor Strange by himself, but he couldn't beat some of these villains without the help of two more. But so he beats Doctor Strange using math and says, okay, Doctor Strange is now trapped. I have the magic box. He gives it to Michelle and goes, if anything happens, you press this button. And she never presses the button. There's one moment she says she's going to. She never does. So it made that almost fucking pointless to have that bullshit. Peter Parker is going to cure the villains. He invites these villains to his apartment, where Aunt May is at. Doc Ock, Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, Lizards outside. What's funny of Lizards out... It reminded me of Suicide Squad when they had the Shark, Teen Shark, outside in the van. Almost the same thing. He invites these villains into his fucking apartment where Aunt May is at. Think about that. These are... well, one's Lizard's out in the truck. But there's still 4 villains. What if they gang up on you? What if they try to fight you in the apartment where your fucking aunt is in at the same time? Your aunt is literally 2 feet away offering fucking cookies and coffee to these fucking villains as if it's a goddamn tea party. There's literally a joke where Aunt May goes, do you want, hey, Mr. Octopus, do you want freshwater or seawater? Huh? 'Cause you're an octopus, right? She asked Dr. Octopus if he wants freshwater or seawater because she thinks he's an octopus. Masterpiece. Masterpiece. To each their own. This is overhyped bullshit. People didn't disagree till cows come home. This is overrated bullshit. This is overrated bullshit. I have a lot to say. This is a long fucking movie. I'm too fucking pig-headed on Spider-Man. Because I grew up with the guy. Maybe no movie will ever please me. But I like Into the Spider-Verse, so that's not true. Maybe animation is the way to do it. Maybe if they make Spider-Man 2099. You can make it animated. Make an animated Spider-Man 2099 movie. And I'll be happy. Please. Into Spider-Verse 2. I look forward to that. Freshwater or saltwater. Because you know you're an octopus. And it's just jokes and humor and jokes. Cheers Otto Octavius. And then Willem Dafoe's like, these are not curses. They are gifts. And I'm sitting there going, Spider-Man. Hey, Spider-Man. These are villains. Maybe don't have Aunt May there. Have her go to Disneyland. Have her go to Disney World. Have her go to a camp. Have her go to the park. Have her go to a movie. Have her go up the fucking street. Have her go to a Creed concert. I don't give a fuck. Have her go somewhere else. There's no reason for Aunt May to be there. Again, how much common sense can one person not have with this fucking Spider-Man? It's not Tom Holland's fault. It's a shitty fucking script. You're inviting 4 or 5 goddamn villains into your fucking apartment, and there's your Aunt May. What's she gonna do? Hit them with a frying pan? You don't try to attack all of them if they try to attack you at the same time? They're not in cells. They're not like handcuffs or anything. They're just free to walk around, hang around, watch TV, stick a thumb up their butt, whatever. What the fuck is going on? So here's Otto Octavius. I told you, he's no longer a villain. After the bridge scene, so, oh, how's Doc Ock going to be a villain with Green Goblin or Sandman? He's not. He's fucking not. Oh, how they don't do the Sinister Six? They don't. There's 5, and then one quickly becomes a good guy. Hell, by the end, skip ahead, it's 4 against 3, 4 for the good guys. The 3 Spider-Men and Doc Ock versus Lizard, Sandman, and Electro. It was 3-on-3, and then Doc Ock comes and he defeats Electro. Countless stories, cartoons, comics with Spider-Man himself having to deal with the Sinister Six. And we've gone from that to it takes 3 Spider-Men to fight 3 fucking villains. Because Green Goblin comes in late, and Doc Ock's a good guy. It takes 3 Spider-Men to fight 3 villains. While the stories was 1 Spider-Man to fight 6 villains. What's next? 4 Spider-Men to fight 1 villain? Maybe it'll take 4 of them. Maybe they'll fight Venom. These 3 and Miles Morales. They'll take all 4 of them to fight Venom. 4-on-1. Have a game-bang jamboree of comic proportions. So there's an apartment fight. Actually, not too bad, to be fair. Not too bad. Yes, there's going to be a lot of CG. I mean, that's why I wonder if just animations is the better fit for Spider-Man material. It ends with Aunt May is there. Willem Dafoe throws a goblin pumpkin bomb. I don't know why he doesn't shoot a web at the bomb. I don't know if his web shooters are broken. I don't know if something else happened. Oh, it's just another mistake. He made another mistake, maybe. Instead of, shooting the... Every other time he would shoot the web for it. No, he tries to grab it. Boom. Aunt May dies. She says with great power comes great responsibility. Because Uncle Ben doesn't... You might as well say he doesn't exist in this fucking world. Technically he does, but... like, Tom Holland doesn't... But you might as well say Uncle Ben doesn't exist. So... I get it. Do you just want to do the exact same thing over and over again with Uncle Ben? Do that with Aunt May? But if that's the case, then have Uncle Ben survive and try to take care of be with Tom Holland. And have Aunt May die. You could do that. But have at least something with Uncle Ben. Something. It's not like the others, Uncle Ben, but then there was nothing with Aunt May. Doesn't mean you don't need to have 0 about Uncle Ben. Yeah, fine. You don't want to have Uncle Ben say the same line. I get it. But don't like make him just not fucking exist, pretty much. At Aunt May's funeral, Tombstone, I don't even think I saw Uncle Ben's gravesite. You would think Aunt May would be near Uncle Ben, but... maybe that would be weird because Happy was in love with Aunt May. So if Jon Favreau was looking at Aunt May and then he looks over, oh yeah, that used to be her husband. You know that, right? Which Aunt May never really talks about Uncle Ben either. Even though her and Jon Favreau are kind of going out, and I'm like, okay, was he a wife beater? I don't fully know he was a fucking wife beater. He beat the shit out of Aunt May. I don't fucking know. It could be. So great power comes great responsibility, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know why Michelle doesn't see that. She sees it on the TV. Why she doesn't immediately push the button? Oh shit, this guy just killed Aunt May. No. And then, this is like an hour and 25 minutes in. Hour and 20, give or take. And we're in Ned's mom's living room. And then, the grand entrance. People are at Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire. What's the grand entrance? Is it when Tom Holland's fighting, he's losing, and then you see a thread, a web, and it grabs an arm or grabs a leg. It's like, what? And there's this heroic shot of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. It's one, and then something happens, and then there's another one, and there's a third one. No. By this point, Ned now has magic. Opens a portal. Andrew Garfield just walks in and goes, hey, how's it going? And, oh, are you a Spider-Man? Prove it. So Andrew Garfield puts his hand here and he hangs from the ceiling. Give me more proof. And throws bread at him. And he's like, stop throwing bread at me. Andrew Garfield tried. Here's the sad thing. I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2 like a month or two ago for like the second time. I really liked Andrew Garfield in that movie. And I'm like, man, if you just gave him the right material, man, and you just... If Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't try to fucking rush everything, Andrew Garfield would have been a great Spider-Man. You could have built... If you took your time... Because it's nice to see him. I was actually surprised. Just again, watching Amazing Spider-Man 2 again, and even the bits here, made me appreciate him. And his grand entrance is to walk on a fucking ceiling, crawl on the ceiling, and clean a fucking cobweb and some old bitch's ceiling. Ned's mom's like, I forget, I don't know her language, I'm sorry. She says, go clean the cobweb in the corner. Andrew Garfield's grand entrance is to be a cobweb cleaning bitch. Clean the cobwebs. What's next? Wash your ass with my tongue? Squeegee your bunhole with a plunger? What's next? Miss Master? What the fuck is this shit? This is a grand entrance for Andrew Garfield to come back? Really? And the same scene, Tobey Maguire comes in. Regular clothes. Because his Spider-Man stuff's underneath. He just comes in the same room and goes, hi. This thing's like, hi. And you just say there's little moments. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they look at each other. And they both try to web each other. But it's such mundane, mediocre intros that I was dumbfounded. I'm like, really? These are the intros reintroductions you give? People were how many people were clamoring? Tobey, Tobey. He just walks in and goes, hey guys, what's up? That's the most mundane fucking shit ever. And then I guess Spidey sense, or maybe use the Force, I don't know. Tobey's like, oh, the other Spider-Man here, something happened, didn't it? Again, I guess a Spidey sense, or again, maybe he used the Force. He felt the emotions, I don't know. They find Tom Holland. And, again, there's moments. There's moments that work. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, talk with Tom Holland about how they lost Uncle Ben or Gwen Stacy. But Tobey Maguire doesn't really do a whole lot. For all this hype and build-up of Tobey Maguire coming back, he doesn't do much of shit. And I'm not even the guy that's like a big to be or not to be Maguire fan. But I'm like, how are people happy when he didn't really do shit? he had these little moments, like when he shot a web shooter at Andrew Garfield and shot back. The little Uncle Ben talk. They're trying to fix the cures. And, oh, I gotta get a web shooter. And Tobey Maguire's like, web shooter? What for? Well, for webs. And then Tobey Maguire does this. They go, wow, that comes out of your wrist? Does that come out of anywhere else? Yeah, out of his ass. Out of his ass, out of his ass, out of his ass. That's like it. I mean, if you add it all together, the moments... I mean, they're moments. Like, moments of talking, little moments. Not including the big action scene at the end. The little moments, if it's more than 10 minutes, I'd be surprised. I would be surprised. And people are like, you know, hey, there are moments. Andrew Garfield saves Michelle, which he could not save Gwen Stacy, so at least he was able to save Michelle. He gets emotional because he's thinking about his old love. Is that a nice moment? I'll give you that. Yes. Doc God, who's been cured, sees Peter Parker. Oh wow, you've grown up. Nice to see you, Otto. Was that a nice little moment? Yes. But I'm sorry, a couple of nice moments is not enough for me to give a pass to a 2 hour and 20 minute movie with, in my opinion, a lot of bullshit involved. And honestly, I thought the action scene at the end sucked. People tell me it was such a great action scene. I could barely tell what the fuck was going on. And I got glasses too. I could barely tell what the fuck was going on. Not because of shaky cam, but because you're trying to pinpoint because you have 3 Spider-Men. Yeah, their costumes a little bit different, but okay, no, that's that Spider-Man, is that Spider-Man? And you can have something interesting with, oh, Andrew Garfield never dealt with Sandman. Or, you know, Tobey Maguire never dealt with, like, briefly he deals with the lizard, but it goes by so quick, and you're off to this and this and this, this off to this, then off. I'm like, it was hard to keep track. But, I mean, if you had, like, Andrew Garfield really dealing with Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, that could be interesting, perhaps. If Doc Ock was still a fucking villain, maybe that could be interesting, perhaps. Tobey Maguire dealing with Electro. Tobey Maguire dealing with Electro, that could be interesting. But they don't really do that. It kind of just, okay, Tobey, you stick with Sandman, and Andrew Garfield, you stick with Electro. And granted, yeah, because they have history together, but at the same time, I get that, but there's also the cross-pollination you could have with fun, and you don't really get a whole lot of that. And there's some cringe dialogue in this. Like, before the fight, when the 3 of them are talking, Andrew Garfield, oh, you know, man, you fought an alien? The symbiote, Spider-Man 3. And you fought an alien in space? Man, I'm a nobody. And Tobey Maguire literally says, no, you're amazing. Remember? You're amazing. Tobey Maguire is telling Andrew Garfield, no, you are amazing. You're amazing. Does you get it? Amazing Spider-Man? You're amazing. You are amazing. You are amazing. Masterpiece. Remember, it's a masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Best Spider-Man movie ever. I think Spider-Man 2 is better. Into the Spider-Verse is better. I would put Spider-Man 3 to still be the worst. I would rather watch Homecoming again. I would rather watch Far From Home again. This tried to be too much in too little time. It tried to be... It's Sinister, but it's not really Sinister Six. It tried to be a precursor to Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2. That's why you have Doctor Strange there in the multiverse. It tried to be kind of a reboot for Tom Holland as well. As, remember Into the Spider-Verse? We got Tobey Maguire, we got Andrew Garfield. Here's 7 moments. A+ movie. Like I said, Doc Ock stop. I mean, by the end fight is 3 against 3. It's the 3 Spider-Men versus Electro, Lizard, and Sandman. Because Green Goblin, he's running late. He comes in after the fight. Doc Ock, he's off somewhere. He's a good guy, but he's off somewhere. He's going to come in later in the fight. So it's 3 against 3. So again, it takes 3 Spider-Men to fight these 3 villains. 3 Spider-Man to fight. Again, I'm thinking back in the comics where we got to a Spider-Man that was able to face off with luck and wit and other stuff, 6 villains. But we need 3 to take on. And one of them's the fucking Lizard. I'm sorry, the Lizard is now one of the top caliber villains in the Spider-Man universe. Yeah, of the 3, like, one of them is the fucking Lizard. Again, he's not only one of the top caliber fucking villains. And then they cheer each one. That's where Jamie Foxx is like, oh, wow, you're white. I thought you'd be black because, you know, poor Queens. Gotta be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere. I'm like, should have said, I don't know, is there a white Electro out there somewhere? Let's say you have a couple good moments. Doc Ock and Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield saving the girl. I like Tom Holland getting pissed and punching the shit out of Willem Dafoe. I like that moment. I do like that scene. Because it shows a different side. Makes sense because he's pissed because the guy killed Aunt May. Justifiable, his rage. I understand that. Speaking of, you know, rage. I get that. That was a nice moment. And Tobey Maguire stops him because, go back to Spider-Man 1, saved himself, impaled Green Goblin. He knows that, you know, this isn't going to help Tom Holland. Tobey Maguire gets stabbed in the back. He doesn't die, but he gets stabbed in the back, but he teared. I mean, everybody gets teared. Everybody gets teared. And again, Doctor Strange is there, sends everyone back. Tom Holland makes the choice. Finish that one spell. No one will remember me. And it's true. No one, not Michelle, not Ned, Jon Favreau, no one, not the Avengers. No one will know Peter Parker was Spider-Man. No one in the world. He does that. People go back. Even the goodbye between Tom Holland and the other Spider-Man is like, Tom Holland saying thank you, and Tobey Maguire is like, hey, it's what we do. And then when they disappear, they kind of look at each other and go, I guess the one moment is when the 3 of them are hugging. You know, that's the Kodak moment. Okay. And, you know, I didn't never find out what happened Tobey's life, Andrew Garfield's life, the other villains. Did they live? Did they die? What happened? How, now that they cured, how did they change their life? Never brought up, never put into play, nothing at all. Then I would think that'd be important. Because if they just go back and then they're dead, then the whole thing was fucking pointless. So that never comes into play. And I guess that Doc Ock will be in a different universe as that Tobey Maguire, because Tobey Maguire is much older. And this way, it doesn't. I guess he'll just break off to another universe, and I don't know, man. I don't know. But hey, all the villains in the Spider-Man films are not dead now. Their victims are dead. All the people Green Goblin died in Spider-Man 1 are still dead. Remember they turned to skeletons in Spider-Man 1? They're dead, but at least this Green Goblin's still alive. All the people Electro killed, they're still dead, but at least Electro's still alive. All these other people are dead, but at least they're still alive. So I guess that's a happy ending. Thank God we almost killed the universe for this. Thank God the universe almost got destroyed because of this. Thank God for that. And then it's like a reboot. Because now Spider-Man Tom Holland is no Iron Spider suit. Cool. Glad. He's back to his old school red and blue suit. He has a little shitty apartment. I don't know how he affords it. I don't know how he got the money for it. And no one knows his identity. And I guess Tom Holland will still be Spider-Man for Sony movies. And I'm guessing the next one will be A Venom. I say A Venom because the post-credits is Venom with Tom Hardy was in the universe. And then they didn't interact with anything. Then when the multiverse was fixed by Doctor Strange, they got pulled back to theirs. But a piece of the symbiote was left behind. So that piece of symbiote, I guess we'll find Peter Parker. And wouldn't I still have the same thoughts and memories of Tom Hardy? And want to be a good guy, protector, lethal protector? I don't care. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. So, I almost said, does that mean everything that happened in Homecoming and Far From Home was pointless? Which, I don't know if that'd be fair to say. That was the blurb that came out of my head. Yes, there's a lot of fan service, which I know people like, what's wrong with nostalgia bait and fan service? I had someone tell me, well, you know what, you can play about nostalgia bait. What about Rocky 2, 3, and 4? Those are nostalgia based. I'm like, no, those are sequels that came out like a year or 2 or 3 after that was continuing the story. I think if you took out Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, I don't think it gets these high reviews. People go, well, that's just, well... The reason this film is standing, to me, is not on its 2 feet. It's because of the past holding it up with crutches. This is something with 2 broken legs, and the 2 Spider-Mans and those 2 villains are holding the person up. Acting as the movie's crutches. And no one has to agree with it. I don't even want this to be... You know what's funny? This is, to me, I don't even put this in the top 10 worst of the year. I don't. The top 10 worst of the year includes films like Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, and The Eternals, and Halloween Kills, and Army of the Dead, and Candyman, and fucking Black Lives Matter the movie and Home Sweet Home Alone bitches and Coming to America to Rape You. Because Eddie Murphy's character got raped in that. Space Jam, New Fantasy, Mortal Kumquat. I mean, there's other fucking bullshit worse. But this became longer because it just against Dafoe's basement, I guess. Against Dafoe's basement. Just, I see, you know... I know people will just say, you're just doing this to be different. Why? What's the point? What's the point of being different? I have my own taste. You may say they're weird tastes. I'm the guy that has a fucking 1989 Leviathan Laserdisc. And I don't even own a Laserdisc player. But I like this movie. That someone gave it to me as a gift. I'm the guy that fucking likes End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Leviathan, Hard Target, and fucking Rambo 2 and Aliens are my favorite films of all time. While people have Citizen Kane, and which I like Citizen Kane, Godfather, all sorts of stuff is their favorite films of all time. Mine is Hard Target. You know, I have my own taste in movies. You can disagree and whatever. I don't think this movie is as good as people make it out to be. I don't think this movie's a masterpiece. I was not entertained by it. There are a couple moments I didn't mind. If I add the moments together, if it was 10 minutes, I would be surprised. Even the last action scene, it felt like kind of a clusterfuck. Again, I didn't think it was that fun or exciting. I didn't. I don't think Tobey Maguire, especially in the action scenes, you would think he would get a lot more shine. Tobey Maguire seemed like he had the least amount of the action in the finale. And you think, oh, it's Tobey Maguire. No, that Spider-Man didn't really feel like he did much, except he almost got drowned by the Sandman, and someone threw the thing, and he grabbed it, teared. And then when he's teared again, they steal footage from Spider-Man 3 when you actually see Thomas Hayden Church. But I don't know. I'll stick with Into the Spider-Verse. I'll stick with the cartoons. 90s one. Spectacular Spider-Man. Even that MTV one that Neil Patrick Harris voiced that lasted a year. I'll stick with this. This stuff. That's just me. My prerogative. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I'm kind of tired. I'm sure no one's going to last the whole thing. I don't blame you. If you do, I don't know. What's something I could ask at the end? If you lasted to the end of this, maybe type this word in. Just for shits and giggles. At the end of the day, we're all, you know, everyone on YouTube just a fucking vlogger talking to a camera. Nothing to get that bit out of shape out of. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Peace.